Part two. Part two is where Alex's genius came in. And she and I worked diligently on what are some questions we can ask ourselves in our fasted state to get to know our body better. Now, I want to talk about the way our body talks to us. I have, over the last several podcasts, I've been really trying to explain this concept that your body holds information. So if you listened to the podcast I did with Dr. Sarah Gottfried, or the podcast interview I did with my breath worker, Kate Horseman, you will hear that I'm a big fan of this idea that the body keeps the score. And if you don't know that book, I highly recommend you get it. It was one of the first books that really pierced the culture, that explained that our traumas are within and that the body holds on to traumas. So when we try to fix any traumatic situation, we try to fix it from the mind, but really we should be fixing it from the body. And what you'll hear Kate and I discuss, what Sarah and I discuss, is that fasting is one way to hear what your body is speaking to you. So when you're in the fasted state, what I did is I broke these questions and these prompts into several categories. I broke them into like what mentally needs to improve in your life. Like, how do you become more grounded? What in your life do you need more clarity on? What in your health do you need to be focused on? So these prompts have, let's see how many questions. We have 50 questions per prompt. And each morning I have a tracking system. So that's in part two, is a tracking system where you will take a question from one of these sections and you will journal on it. So you will write down the question. Maybe the question is, what does my body need from my lifestyle right now? And you'll write it down, and then you just write like a journal. You just answer it and let your body speak to you. So the questions have been broken down into, what do you mentally need? What do you emotionally need? What do you spiritually need? And what do you physically need? So I've put it into categories. So you get to choose. My goal, or my hope with this journal, is that you will wake up and in the morning and you will be like in a fasted state, and you will go to your 60-day tracker and you will pull one of these questions out and you will journal on it. And you get to choose, do you want to go down a spiritual journaling path today? Do you want to go down emotional? Do you want to go down what you physically need? But in that fasted state, there is wisdom. And what motivated me to do this journal more than anything was I don't want you to lose the fact that your body is speaking to you. And if you just quiet your mind and you sit in a location where you're journaling and you're asking these questions, your body will tell you what you need. Now, a lot of you are data hounds, and I love this. And a lot of you are really trying to understand what length fast works for you. Some of you are trying to understand how to break your fast. So in the 60-day tracker section, not only do I have the prompts and you can journal on the answers to those, but opposite that page, I have a fasting tracking sheet. This actually was born out of something I've used with my own personal clients. So when I go to customize a client's fasting lifestyle, I track a lot. I track glucose. I track how many blood sugar spikes they have in a day. I look at how quickly the blood sugar comes down. I track their HRV and their sleep, their total sleep and their deep sleep and their REM sleep. I track symptoms like bloatedness and breast tenderness and constipation. Like I have a whole tracker system so that we can start to see patterns. And I think this is the beautiful thing about the longer you stick with a fasting lifestyle, the more these patterns will be revealed to you. And so I wanted to create prompts for you to see the patterns. So let me just give you an example of what you'll see in this fast tracking, in the 60-day tracker. You're going to see the reflection questions that you'll be journaling on. And then you're going to see little boxes. And the little boxes have things like, what kind of fast are you doing today? And is it longer than the day before? So you can use that prompt to either to remind yourself of what you're doing today or what you did yesterday, but it starts to help you see, because you'll go back, or if you do this over 60 days, you'll start to see your favorite length fast. You'll be like, whoa, I did a lot of 17-hour fasts, or, oh my gosh, I haven't done a 24-hour fast in a long time, because you'll be using this tracking system for 60 days. So it's enough to see that pattern. Then underneath that, I have a little box that for those of you that track ketones, I want you to look at your ketone levels when you wake up. And the reason that that's important is because that tells you how your fasting lifestyle worked for you the day before. So if you're trying to stay in a ketogenic state, it's great to look at your ketones when you first wake up. I also have a section, those of you that have CGMs or you're using a Keto Mojo, where you're going to record your blood sugar values. So you're going to look at what your blood sugar is like when you wake up, your blood sugar midday, and your blood sugar before you go to sleep. And the reason that I like to look at ketones and blood sugar is it's a way. Remember, blood sugar tells you how you're doing within your eating window, and ketones tell you how you're doing within your fasting window. So they're like data-driven points that tell us how the sugar burner system's doing and how the fat burner system's doing. And when you track them over several days, you'll start to see the changes. Okay, then I put in there, how do you track your moods when you're fast? And the reason that this is important is that when you first fast, some people will notice that their moods may not be great. But over time, you may start to see your moods improve. So why I wanted that there, and I give you options. You could put you're angry, you're sad, you're neutral, you're happy, or you're overjoyed, is that I want you to start to look at the length of your fast and your moods, because every one of us is going to have a different fasting length. And so I want you to be able to see, again, what's the right fasting length for you. So we're looking at your ketones and your blood sugar, and we're looking at your moods. Then I also, for those of you that are cycling, I have a tracker in there where you can track what day of your cycle you are on. I also, those of you that are very active, I have a section on talk about the activity that you did and how was that? Was it better? This is where I really want you to focus in on was it better to eat before you worked out? When you got done working out, what foods did you break it with? These all matter when you're looking at patterns around your fasting lifestyle. And then we look at sleep, how many hours sleep you have. Those of you that might have a tracking system, you can put in there, like, did you get a lot of deep sleep? Did you not? So you can start to see where too much fasting may be affecting your sleep, where certain length fasts can improve your sleep. That's what I'm hoping those prompts will show you. And then I have 2 more sections within the tracking system where you can look at your energy levels and you can look at what you broke your fast with. So again, remember, the purpose of a journal is to have self-reflection. So I tried to think of the things that if you and I were sitting down and we were customizing a fasting lifestyle, what questions would I ask you to be able to help you customize the best fasting lifestyle for you? And that's what I put on this tracker system. Now, I do want to point out that if you're lost at all with your fasting lifestyle, I am doing, it's a solo episode like this one. I have available that I did a whole hour to my Reset Academy people where I talked about everything you need to know about customizing a personal fasting lifestyle. So that episode mixed with this episode, mixed with the journal, is really going to help you take this to the next level. And one of my value systems is that I'm not here just to give you information to entertain you or to make myself feel better. I am here to give you information to change your life. And I am so proud to say that between the journal and this episode and the other episode, I feel like you have some really, really solid tools to be able to customize this for yourself. And they're time efficient. I have some amazing tools on my YouTube channel, but there's 1,500 videos over there. So I've synthesized this fasting lifestyle path into these 2 Resetter podcasts and the journal to make it easier for you. Okay.